Yeah, hello. How you guys doing today? Okay. Pretty sure, as all of you know, when you borrow other people's stuff, usually when you borrow other people's stuff, you break something. It's a rule of thumb. I'm almost sure of it. Anyway, long story short, borrowed my wife's bike to go check out this lake, about an hour and a half out in the bush. Anyway, I popped her rear tire. Don't need to show you. fixing a tire, putting a new tube in. Everybody knows that job sucks. I don't like it anyway. Unless you want to see me on my knees, swearing, cursing, sweating, cursing some more. And then, yeah. One tube, I pinched it. Had to pull it all back apart. Got another tube. Went together good. So anyway, here we are. Tire's done. Okay. Beads all set. Just wanted to go over a few things here. If and when you've got the back wheel off for any reason, brakes, cleaning the rear brakes. This one has drum brakes, so they always need to be cleaned. If you don't clean them, don't keep care of them, they're gonna stick. They're not gonna work properly. It's just bad news all over it. So even though these drum brakes, they're almost had it, but we'll leave them on there for another couple rides anyway. Make sure everything's clean. When you got it apart, clean it, grease it. Lots of people put gobs and gobs of grease all over everything. Axles. You don't even really need any grease on an axle. It's not doing anything. The tire's not, or the hub's not spinning on this axle. There's bearings. There's bearings. The hub does not spin on this, so it doesn't need to be loaded up with grease. Neither with the axle sleeve. Now, I've had the wheel off this bike once to check the brakes. So I haven't really had it off once, so had it off second time. We've only had the bike for a short little while. It's my wife's bike, so anyway, good idea while you're in here, if you got the back wheel off anyway, make sure everything's good. Check your bearings, okay? Check them for slop. They're fine. If they need them, now's the time to replace them rather than pulling everything all apart again. You know, if you're in here, replace it if you have the parts. I mean, nothing to say if there's a little bit of a wobbly bearing and you want to go for a bit of a ride tomorrow, put it back in, use it. Just make sure you get it replaced as soon as possible. As far as grease and stuff, you don't need gobs of grease on this stuff. Same thing, just a little tube of grease. One thing that I do like to grease, I don't know if you can see there, the actuator on these brake drums. Okay? Just take a little bit of grease. Make sure not to get them on the pads itself. Just a little tiny, just a little fingerful of grease in here on either side of that actuator will help it perform properly. Alright? Now, as you're using this thing, it's lubricated. The water will have a harder time getting in there. And then when you go to replace the pads itself, take these off. There's a little nipple there. Grease that. Put the drums on, the pads, I guess, whatever they are. Yeah, simple as that. Just little things. Okay. Same thing with this stuff. A little bit of light coating of grease. That's all it needs. Basically, all the grease is doing is a rust inhibitor. It's not doing anything but that. It's just a rust inhibitor. That's all. So, I mean, putting gobs of grease on this stuff is absolutely useless. So, a little bit on here, a little bit on your bearing and stuff won't hurt anything, right? But This gobs and gobs. I had this apart. I pretty much used 3 shop towels to clean all the grease off of this, and it wasn't even proper grease. It looked like it was that green stuff that you would use in a marine application. So anyway, no big deal. But so while you're in here, check everything else while you're here too. Check this. I've already cleaned all this, so okay, get all the dust and crap out of here. If it's really full of shit in there, take a piece of sandpaper inside the drum and on the pads. Just give them a quick little buff up. Drum brakes have been known to glaze over, especially if you're using them for really hard riding where they're getting really hot. Through water, through creeks, through ponds, dirt, dust, sand. They get glazed over, they don't work properly, so drum brakes you really have to keep up on the maintenance with. So, you can throw our axle tube back in there. That just sits in there. Like there's no reason to. That bearing just sits in there. Yeah. Right there. I'm Jade. I'm broadcasting from home in the West Shore, not a closet. I'm broadcasting from a closet still because I was when we lived in a condo and had a walk-in closet. Now we just have a bedroom, so no closet. Yeah, just hold on a sec here. This bearing isn't going in properly, so okay. Sorry about that. There's a little burr on that bearing, and when I put it in, it didn't seem like it went in all the way, but I wasn't sure. So when I went to go stick the drum on, it wouldn't go on. Grabbing a drink here. It is about 5 o'clock on a Saturday night in Lake Cowichan. So anyway, yeah, got the bearing in here now. The axle tubes on these are a little bit goofy. They're like a floater almost. So you'll see when you go to put the axle in, what I'm telling you. Okay, and while you're here, get this stuff a little clean up. Why not? Put the drum on. Put your axle in your exhaust pipe, always there. No. Forgot to put the other bearing on. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I just forgot to put the other side of the bearing in there, which happens. You put stuff together, pull it apart, take it apart, put it back together. It always happens. Anyway. Calls for another drink. Yeah. There we are. Okay. Chain. Push the wheel forward. Chain on bikes. Always start from the bottom. And when you roll the tire forward, then it won't get hung up in there. Where did my other pieces go? There. You're not on. Okay, another little cool thing that I've learned over the years is when you go to pull a wheel off, okay, make a little mark with a Sharpie right there. I think you know pretty well right back where to go. That one's got 2 marks on it. I'm not quite sure why, but and then when you want to line a chain, okay, if you look down the rear sprocket to the front sprocket, there should be no deviation. Your chain should be nice and straight. Don't look at the top of the wheel up there, because that rubber can be all over the place. Alright, so yeah. Look straight down the chain sprockets. See? Nice and straight. And putting a little mark on those tabs before you take it apart. Then the chain's got good slack to it. Everything. Okay, cool. Okay. I'm just gonna button some stuff up here. Subscribe if you want. Like, comment, whatever you like. Just showing you what I like to do with motorcycles. All right. See you next time.